Hello and welcome, rookie card collecting friends. Victor, the rookie card specialist, sharing with you some hobby news and views. Really excited about this coming weekend as I have my middle daughter, my middle child, is getting married to a wonderful gentleman. And it's been a crazy week here at the Roman household, as you can only imagine. Um, all the dues that need to get done uh, as we approach the wedding here in the next couple of days. Very proud of my daughter, and very excited for this new chapter in her life. She really is a great kid. She's just been such a blessing to raise, and she's gone to school. She's a nurse. She's purchased her house, and she's just doing everything the right way, and not getting too far ahead of herself, but also not lagging behind either. She's been, I can't express enough how proud I am of my daughter, Jasmine, and I'm going to be heartfelt to give her hand in marriage this coming weekend. Oh, I hope you guys are doing good. I am going to be sharing with you some hobby news and views that's been going on this week. I know some things are probably old news by now, but I do like to just touch on them quickly. Shout out Hobby News Daily. It's a new hobby platform that just started April 1st. I am affiliated with Hobby News Daily. Uh, went ahead and released an article this past week called Being a Wise Collector. And I kind of just shared my journey that I went through at one point where I think we just right we kind of go through denial, and we start doing things in the hobby that aren't making sense in real life. And there's a moment in my life anyways where I really had to reflect what was going on, right? And really uh be honest with myself and say, hey man, I got to look in the mirror and pay attention to what I'm doing here, because are my bills paid? Are if I look around my house, are there repairs that I need to make in my house? Do I have $1,000 at least in the bank? And and those are just things that I had to questions, hard questions that I had to ask myself, and really learn to prioritize my collecting, because it got to the point, it can get to the point for any of us, is the hobby starts to control us instead of us controlling our hobby. And that's a dangerous place to be. We got to be mindful of that. And we got to, I went ahead and gave some kind of advice on what we need to do, you know, to be a wise collector. And I know for me, it was number one, I had to get an agreement with my spouse. This overspending and not meeting my responsibilities because I'm overspending. I think that's happened to many of us. But we're in denial. We refuse to, you know, address that issue. But eventually, you're going to have to address it. So it's better to do it sooner rather than later. For me, I went ahead and I got an agreement with my spouse, and I we sat down. The cat was out of the bag. Hey, here's where we're at. Here's what I've done. And I know it's a jacked up situation, but I'm going to fix it. And so, I did what I had to do in order to make things right. And that means, hey, um, I got to have a consistent allowance. I cannot, give my full paycheck to the bills and the household and then not have anything for me, because then that's going to cause me to overspend, or it's going to cause me to look for money elsewhere. And those are the types of things. When I got an agreement with my wife, went ahead and, okay, this amount of money, I get paid every 2 weeks, this amount of money is going to be transferred to my account. And likewise for her, she also was able to get an allowance, because there was a lot of times that she would never get an allowance, but I did. So I made sure, okay, you get an allowance, I get an allowance, something that's fair and equal to towards what we bring home, and then we each have our own spending account. And so when I started doing stuff like that, man, things just really started to become a lot smoother. There was a lot of mutual respect between my wife and I because we're doing things equally and fairly, and responsibilities are getting met. And it's all those things where I had to track my spending. I created, man, probably 6 years ago now, but I created a spreadsheet and I started tracking my spending. And I went to my eBay history. I looked at my account, and I created this spreadsheet on my spending of sports cards, and I was shocked. My jaw just dropped to the ground when I realized how much money I was actually spending. And I had absolutely no idea. Why? Because I wasn't tracking my money. I wasn't tracking my spending on sports cards. And so when we start having these, we buy like there's no tomorrow. But if we don't have a spending plan, we're going to find ourselves selling like there's no tomorrow. And so it really robs us of the full joy that the hobby can bring when we start misprioritizing our responsibilities. So I think I've said too much about it already. I'm going to leave a link if you'd like. You can check out the article. It's if you or you can go on hobbynewsdaily.com, check it out, subscribe. It's a great website. You're going to get a lot of good content from a lot of different sources, and look it up there, and look me up there, and check out the article.